Okay, so this is gonna be a tour of our farm. Me and my brother have been playing this for a while, and this is how it turned out. Um, it's it's a little organic. It's a little like natural. So for the most part, when we were laying out the place, we typically uh, kind of built in an area, and then it kind of stayed in that area. Um, yeah, for the most part, we the areas around here have kind of stayed the same. So like crop areas have been crop areas, and the town has always been like in this area. Flowers have always been over there. Um, just kind of things like that. So this is gonna be like an outdoors one, and then later I'm gonna do a train tour as well as an indoors tour. So here's our town. You start off at this bus stop. Um, our very first house is right over here. I thought it was kind of cute with the mailbox and the small backyard. Um, so yeah, this is our town. This is our main house. So this is like the nicest place. We have a little soccer field over here. Very very keen, archery, Zen garden, red tea in the back. A little smithy for hobbies. Uh, and then just in the town is so in this game you kind of sell things, and so all of our sell things are lined up here. We have like a town square over here where the guest book is. Um, we have a whole bunch of shops where you can go, sell your farm stuff. Um, we have a lot of fruit presses because fruit presses turn into jam, and then jam turns into metals, which are a little harder to get in this game. So we kind of crank it out so that we get um, money and metals from it. So there's a couple of you know un non-functioning houses. We have all of our extra money boost items over here. And then, going down the town, there's the warehouse and then the train station. Um, and then, okay, so starting with where we were originally. So this is kind of like our original area. Um, oops. Over here we have our flower fields. So our original flower fields started out over here, up here on this plateau. And they kind of been growing outwards. So over here, we have a nice viewing area, I think, right here, where we come up here and you can look out on all of our lovely flowers. There's my brother. Um, so we've got our giant flower field. So everything's kind of centralized flower wise. So, you can stroll down. Um, Here and there, there's beehives, which are next to the flowers for obvious reasons, right? If you have beehives, you always want flowers nearby. So over here we have the Spanish farmhouse, um, which is right next to the ryokan, which my brother kind of um, customized himself. So this is kind of like his pet project right here. Uh, yeah, we got more flower fields. We have cotton fields right here. We have berry fields go up here. Um, and the rest of down here is whatever we're gunning for. So if we need money, we make crookneck pumpkins a lot because of their ability to turn. They're like technically fruit, so they can turn into juice, and we can get metals from it as well. And they also cost a lot, so we make a lot of money like that. Um, Over here is our circus. our circus tent. This circus tent is a house, but the rest of it's kind of just like you know, a little amusement park. You got you know, your swan boat ride circle here, and then like a little archery mini game over here. You know, you got your Ferris wheel and your various circus things. You know, hot dogs, ice cream. You know, circus things. So up here is kind of whatever more of whatever crop we're getting for. Typically it is crooknecks. There's nothing here right now because I don't know that we care. There's chard over here, which is kind of our other, if we just want pure money, we just plant a ton of chard. So we'll probably see a lot of this. Over here is where we grow wheat. So wherever, right here, we've got like a couple windmills, which, you know, thematically process the wheat, right? So we have like this hay pile and some supplies over here for the wheatening, right? And you'll see this all around the tracks because I kind of wanted to make a railroad crossing stop, so that's kind of my kind of way to fake it. So if we come over here, this entire area used to be our event field. So like you can see, this Together Forever needs 60 goji berries and lettuce. So we would plant the goji berries and the lettuce over here. But since we expanded the map, we usually plant it over to the right in that like expansive nothingness. So we just turn this into more crops that we want. We have like a little wind turbine farm up here, you know, because we want to go green or whatever. And then over here, we have our Venetian house. So it's kind of funky on the outside, you know, it's leaning over, so we put the leaning tower over here. We have like so all of our houses are connected to or very close to a point of interest, and every point of interest is along the railroad, except for number 16 and the bus stop. But otherwise, you can basically get to every point of interest by a walk path, and then I have like cute little bus train stops here. You'll see more of those later. But we have a lovely, you know, aesthetic fountain, stone benches that you can sit at, and we have that leaning tower there. And then coming over here, this is our tree grove. So instead of having to go out and hunt down whatever tree we need at the time, we just stuck them all over here. So they're all, you can see there's just a ton of trees. And to go along with the theme, we have our treehouse. So our treehouse is kind of nestled away in this grove of trees. A lot of these trees that surround the house are 3 to 4 seasons out of the year. They can be harvested. So it's very kind of fruit dense area, which is good for us. Because that means we don't have to move around a whole lot. So all throughout this, you know, there's several kinds of trees, basically all of them. And as we're coming into number 9-ish area, this upper left area is basically all of our farm animals. So we have our ducks, you know, waterfowl, and then our ostrich types. So the big standing ostrich types, emus, you know. And then over here is horses and donkeys. And then up here, the one we have the least of is these deer. They take forever, so they're kind of off on their own. So we have the donkeys over here. We have the farmhouse right here. You know, it's very quaint. There's like a little picnic table, you know, barbecue. This is like the American dream home, you know. And then we have another train stop here, right? And then down here we have chickens, turkeys, just normal fowl full. And then that brings us to our medieval town. So if you've ever been to like a Ren fair, it's basically a Ren fair. So we can come over here to the point of interest is actually inside, but I made like a faux kind of railroad station here. If we come over here behind this bit of wheat and rye, there's the jousting area. So medieval people come down here and joust, and you got your two horses, and then you come out. The crowd's going wild. Joust, right? Very cool. And then over here is kind of our medieval town, which surrounds the castle, right? So in the castle we have kind of some rooks. We have a secret treasure chest behind it. We kind of have like a private garden, a small private garden. And then there's some outhouses over here for town goers to go to the bathroom. There's a water trough, even though you use it to wash your hands. And then we have houses. We have fair things, pottery wheel, a smithy, just a place to check out the water fountain, stalls, all that good stuff. Very lovely, I think. And then just so that I don't forget it, we kind of have our freshwater fish over here. So this is kind of like our wetlands. So any fish that we need that doesn't belong in the ocean, or that I think doesn't belong in the ocean, just comes here. And we have a couple of rice paddy fields and sardines over here. So basically just what I think are freshwater fish. I'm probably wrong, because I don't know anything about fish. But that's how we treated the wetlands, and so that's where we are. This is the pagoda. I treated it like a Japanesey house. So there's a koi and carp in here. Very thematic. And then in the back, these wisteria look like cherry trees. So I planted them in the back to kind of give it that Japanesey look. So coming back to the center, near the wetlands, between the wetlands and our starting point, are the other farm animals. So there's rabbits here, pigs over here. We got goats, sheep, and cows. So they're kind of just chilling out here. They're more of our more landier animals. I don't know. It's we just had to separate them because they were getting to be too much. But I didn't want to overcrowd one area, so we have two areas with our farm animals. And then coming over here, there's more cropland. So everywhere, here and there's small patches where we plant crops. But up here is reserved for grapes and stuff, because this is our Italian area. So this I believe is the Roman villa, and we got Roman things out here, columns, Roman fountain, just very Roman things, right? And the one of the things in Rome is that they have a lot of ruins around. So I put some of these columns that you drive through when you're on the railroad. It makes a good experience when you're driving through. And of course we have a winery and a grape juice stand, and then barrels for the wine, of course. Over here we have our lunar area. So this is where our funky space trees are, if we need space trees. We got rockets. Our lunar base is here. We got our fake lunar landing over here. I try to use the bushes as a green screen. I don't know how successful it was, but I thought it was hilarious at the time. Down here, it hasn't changed a lot. These crop areas were crop areas the whole time that we were playing the game. This is one of the original areas. You can tell by the low-level flowers over here, and like the 1-9 square. So back in the beginning, before we had 33 million gold, you know, we used to have like 200 gold at any given time. So we would plant basically anywhere we could at the time. This area over here used to be completely, the areas that are plowed above 7 used to be completely filled with crops that give gems, because we had to buy all of the land. We are missing one side, and one side to the left and one side to the top, mostly because we didn't want to grind it out. But we could have, right? So let me just warp over here to one of our features, is the Viking area. So you got like Viking gates coming in, a little house here, smithy, you know, because they're Vikings, you know, archery ranges with a hail base behind. We have the longhouse, the meadery, of course. What's a Viking place without a meadery, right? And then we have this little longship here. So you could pretend that this little piece here doesn't exist, and that you can just sail off in your longboat to go plunder or whatever, right? So we'll just come back down here. So you can see this turmeric. This turmeric used to be all over the place, but now it's just like in this small area. Basically because we more or less finished. So over here, you can see the towns right down there. This is our kind of adobe area. So you have the adobe home, the well, you know, little adobe hut. Just kind of like, it's just off on its own. I thought it was cute. Alright, so let's get back on the trail. Over here, got this secret gnome over here, just being all sneaky. But we have kind of a ruins over here. I set it up so it looks a little bit magical, like this rhombus tile is gonna teleport you. These Stonehenge things were part of one of the events that happened. So I put these little wall dividers, these stone dividers down here, to kind of represent like ruins. So this is kind of my like Stonehenge ruin area. We have like the tourist bus stop. There's not actually a bus stop here because coming here is not particularly useful. We have a flamingo area where flamingos go to rest. Of course I bought these, but you know, you can pretend, okay? So we come over here. We had these for a mission, but they were nice looking, so we left them here. It's just a field of lavender. Also, who can hate lavender? So over here we have an area that's kind of our ocean. So we have our sea area. We have this area for pirates. So we have a little pirate cove. It's kind of hidden by these rocks. You know, it's got the little potions and skulls out here. And, you know, treasure chests. Because what's a pirate cove without treasure? We have, like, invading ships over there, so you can fire at them. You know? Keep them away. You got, like, buoys. You got messages in the bottles out there. Little boat. And then over here is, like, the more normal area. So this normal area is more like, you know, touristy stuff. Beach balls. I put in a little beach, a beach volleyball area that doesn't quite work. But I thought it looked cute. You know, beach. The beach. Very nice. We have a lighthouse over here. Non-functional, but very nice at the end of a dock, I think. you know, we have some boats over here. We have the marina over here, which I set up as a little dock. Doesn't really lead anywhere, but that's okay. And then coming down here is another one of Bing's pet projects, which is a maze. So you come in here, you pay, and then you get to go into the maze, and then you get to see if you can find the treasure chest that's not going to eat you. Right? Dude, found the treasure chest. Of course you can jump over it, but don't be a cheater. It's very good. So down there, we don't talk about that area down there. Basically, that's just like a barren wasteland of just crops that are recurring that we got once for an event, but we didn't want to waste the money, so we just left them down there. Over here is another one of Bing's things, which is a campgrounds. So within this forest, there's like this really adorable, cozy fire pit. You know, you got your little RV camping trailer, picnic table. Over here is like a fishing location for you. Very cute. I love this area. He did a great job. So we come back over here. That's just kind of whatever, outside stuff. Over here is extra crooknecks. And then, over here it's all crooknecks and chard the whole way down. So all around here, all around the adobe house, and outside of town is just masses and masses of chard. So that's what we have here. That's our kind of main money maker. Let's see if I missed anything. No, I think that's mostly it. Yeah, most of the other stuff is kind of vacant space. But that's our town. That's our map. Yeah, I like how it turned out. I think it looks very nice. So yeah. So let me get in a position over here, and we can do a train ride.